I have worked through my recovery really hard, man. For someone who should have died in 2019, I should be grateful I'm alive. It's the kind of thing people say, at least you're here with us. It's selfish, but we want you around, they would add. That kind of stuff makes you a hero, right? In some way, the Lazarus effect sometimes invites such helpless pondering, especially looking back at the time when my cancer became terminal and the journey that has become since then. It's not just a remorse, I think. It's also a failing to redeem the meaning of why I am still here. Big question. When you survive and many others don't, you want to not see the borrowed years and extra grace as party favors. Scars. What do you get? Or what do you do to get those? It's like life enjoys making the I was here engravings on our infallibility. You know, just to remind you that you can be touched, changed, and completely wiped. My doctor last year was concerned that I detested being called a hero. Recently, we revisited that conversation. Why don't I? Did I think I didn't deserve a chance at life? Grappling with odds that won't break even, but isn't that what onlookers see? When they witness the details of our life course and they think, son of a ching is tough as nails. Kidimalu. Chuka, beautiful mind, doc, an even more delightful soul. Resilient as fuck. But they who have suffered the implosion of a minefield, their story given a dummy burial of a banana trunk, we watch others thrive, endure, and accomplish and discover life's myth, and they kind of remind us of our own cosmic place. We look at them and wonder with amazement, I think. I have been written off before, condemned to the route of a tragic end. I was told I was not going to make it. I thought so too. I had to put my priority right. But life has its own surprises. It's not the worst name I have been called before, a hero. It has sometimes reminded me that my life is simply not just my own. In fact, it belongs to others than I expected or thought it would be. That's a blessing. A sticking responsibility too. I have kind of felt guilty for not feeling better, not healing completely. After diagnosis, the trajectory of a cancer survivor was once all too obvious, a coming to terms with mortality, death. That was it. At the time of my diagnosis, unicorns were those who had survived a year or more. It was very hard and uncommon to find somebody who had survived months, let alone a year. There weren't many, but now looking around, you see that that narrative has changed quite. Humans resilient as fuck. They kick ass. They move forward and onward with their lives like cancer was just a brief recess, a detour from their brilliantly miraculous journeys. I admire that. Sometimes I fail to see that that person is also me. I mean, it could be worse. However, there is also a largely trauma-informed fear below the scar. Many survivors don't talk much about the residues that later become a collection of designer wounds that remain. Deaths, opportunistic diseases, emotional wreck, fear, anxiety, pain, and the unknowns, and mostly remorse, feeling like a burden. Perhaps cancer's most unfavorable characteristics are unpredictability and the back and forth. Besides keeping you awake, afraid that it could worsen, spread, recur, or cause other health complications to emerge, it also leaves an ugly trail that most people struggle with for life, almost always. You probably know about it. Others know about it. But for a long time, I wasn't able to tell my own daughter. Why not? One would ask. Because she was only 8 at that time. Okay. What of my family or friends who were not 8-year-olds? I mean, they were grown as fuck. Some of them the strongest humans I've ever known. Man, I was scared. Afraid she wouldn't see me the same way she used to. So I won't be just her father. I won't just be a son. I won't just be a friend. I won't just be the brilliant academic. I'll be this sad, unfulfilled, and dying man that needs to be taken care of, that needs to be put on a waiting list for a donor, that needs to go to the hospital all the time, that asks for help all the time. I realize how much of life is ultimately individual through this. We could do literally everything to protect our loved ones if we could, yet it won't ever make them immune from life. Life has its own vagaries. I know it's bullshit, but I am stuck in that loop, prevented from truly presenting myself to the world with my potential. Most people who know me think I am some kind of a hero. They adore me. The failings of my prime years haven't stopped them from recognizing me. That's beautiful, man. I've been a completely different person too. Thin, dejected, breathing like a ticking time bomb, wearing diapers, in that stuck wheelchair, isolated from life. I wanted to not fight anymore. I had borrowed, begged, toiled, then numbed, scared, took to silence to await what was to inevitably come. For what? For nothing. Sometimes I cursed. I blamed myself a lot. Who does that, man? A scared, shitless boy in his late 20s. That's who. I was human to honor the full spectrum of life as it was presented and experienced by me. Sometimes I think that's a heroic thing to do. I had seen it all, or so I thought. You're a good person. People love and care for you. They're going to love you regardless of what has happened in your life. Some won't. Yeah, the bitter pill. A voice constantly keeps me company, steady rocking my boat through the vastness. So, what am I to do than be alive? What are you to do, dear reader and listener? We've got to tend to our gardens, however small and seemingly unproductive. We've got to overcome this existential inertia. We could be lucky, or we could be damn badasses. There's magic still left. I tell you what, try not to spend it all in one place, especially dwelling in the stuck places. Healing, much like joy, is a shared thing. So go on, get. I'm Mondi Chuka, and this is Proof of Life.